Great. Well, welcome to Film and Roll Up and Associates Public Finance Conversation. We're fortunate to have a guest with us today, Rachel Chang-Kwei. Rachel is a senior vice president at Film and Roll Up and Associates. Film and Roll Up and Associates is a municipal advisor to government, and Rachel recently joined the firm in the early 2020. Rachel, thank you for doing this with us.
Thank you. Great to be here. Thank you for having me, Adam.
While we're very excited to have Rachel on our public finance conversation, one thing that really made it a good time to do that is Rachel's recently received the Bond Buyers Rising Star Award. So Rachel, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, if you wouldn't mind taking a moment to talk a bit about your background and what helped you get to that point, I think that'd be a good place for us to start.
Of course. So again, my name is Rachel Chang-Kwei. I'm a senior VP here at Film and Roll Up and Associates, one of the longest serving financial advisory firms in California. Over the past 13 years, I've been working with school districts and community college districts with their capital facilities funding plans. That includes general obligation bonds, lease financings, CFDs, or community facilities district. I also have experiences with other aspects of school consulting. I'm also getting to learn new practice sectors that my firm serves.
Great. And Rachel, this award, the Bond Buyers Rising Star Award, would you mind sharing us a little bit about that? First of all, congratulations, but just sharing with us what went behind that.
So first of all, it's truly an honor to receive this Bond Buyer Award. The award itself, for those that are not familiar with them, is to recognize the industry's next generation, those municipal finance professionals that have contributions and can enable them to make positive impacts to our community. So it is, like I said, an honor. At the same time, I'm humbled by all the attention that I have received. I've been telling people that it's amazing to be named as one of the rising stars, but it's even more awesome that it allowed me to connect with many people. And I also want to take this opportunity to, again, congratulate my fellow class for their achievements in the public finance industry. Last but not the least, thank you, Adam, because you are the person who brought this award to my attention.
Great. Well, Rachel, one of the first times we had a conversation and I listened to your career and then how you got to having that career, I thought you deserved this award. And so it's very great to see those around you who you've worked with really support you, and also the bond buyer when it was submitted to grant you the award. And so you've earned it. So congratulations.
Thank you.
But you've talked a little bit about your career and what you've done. But I think another very compelling story is how you got there. Because it didn't just start with you being a consultant. You had to work very hard to get to that point. Would you mind sharing that with us?
Of course. So maybe I'll take this story back because I did mention this in my interview with Bond Buyer. So I was born in Taiwan and came to the States when I was 16, barely able to communicate in English. I entered San Marino High School here in Southern California as a sophomore, enrolling in back then the ESL program. They're the English learner programs these days. I also took classes at the local Pasadena City College in order to finish all the high school curriculum and satisfy graduation requirements in a little more than 2 years. I benefited greatly from the public education system. That really, I think, is the reason why I'm so passionate about it. So when I first came, the educational environment here was completely different from what I was used to in Asia, in a good way. So, for example, in Taiwan, my school, middle school class size was 50 to 1, where teachers just lectured and raising questions in class was not encouraged. I was also in school studying from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. I also have after school tutoring 5 days a week, which was customary for kids to be competitive. So it was a lot of knowledge cramping, test taking. But don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for that period of time. While it's tough at the moment, it taught me self discipline, how to be organized and stay focused. So when I got here, I was amazed by the learning environment, how it promotes dialogues, how it promotes critical thinking. It allows you to develop an opinion and voice them. I got to learn not just the language but the culture, and it opened my eyes and set the foundation and my passion for public finance.
So during this period of time, you've mentioned there was a bit of a language barrier that you overcame. But if I heard earlier, you've also took another language class at that point. Is that correct?
Yes, so it's amazing how, as a part of the high school curriculum, every student is required to learn a second language. Even for English learners, English doesn't qualify as a second language for that requirement. So there were Spanish, French classes offered, but at my high school, but I was really focusing on first learning English. So I took advantage of the classes, language classes at PCC, Pasadena City College. I took Japanese class there, and that allowed me to fulfill the credits and the curriculum requirements.
Well, for those of us that just struggle with English, the fact that you could come learn English as your second language and then take another language class on top of that, it's pretty impressive. Um,
The same time, I cannot say I remember much about Japanese these days. Just like when I learned calculus back in middle school, there's very little that I retain, but all of that experience was mind opening for me.
so we've mentioned towards the beginning of this conversation that you joined Film and Roll and Associates at the beginning of 2020. And as we all know, at that point in time, everything seems like it's going along just fine. And then March 13th rolls around and the whole world changes. How did things change for you then?
Trust me, Adam, I did not contemplate a global pandemic to take place as I weighed the pros and cons and what ifs associated with the change. Um, Meanwhile, I'm humbled by the trust that people have in me. I'm proud to say that I check about 50% of the boxes of things that I aspire myself to accomplish during this first phase.
Well, you've accomplished 100% of what I anticipated for you. So good job there. I'm glad you set
Thank
high goals
you.
for yourself. So with the pandemic in place, you had made a change and you've very quickly gained trust with a lot of clients in the industry. And so what was that process like and how did you adjust to be able to do something like that?
Over the course of my career, I've built great relationships with clients as well as constituents. I am a driven person. I set goals. I take my responsibilities seriously. That's just how I was brought up, the value my family instilled in me. But it is equally important to me that I accomplish them the right way. When COVID-19 first hit, and we all had to transition quickly to working from home while shelter in place, there was a lot to attend to, personally speaking. So when I put myself in the client or potential client's point of view, I rather respect that they have important issues at hand, more important than my contract or potential refinancings, which for a period of time that second half of March was prohibitive based on market conditions anyway. So I I wanted to find that fine balance between being persistent versus compassionate. And I think that has served me well. I have clients that allowed me to trust, the first day I made the change to join Fieldman. there were clients that appreciated the time that they got to not worry about consultant contracts. And I think end of the day, that's a part of our EIS philosophy, right? That experience, integrity, and service, and that's the integrity part. And I am hopeful that will continue to allow me and Philman to serve our clients and stand the test of time.
Right. Well, and certainly appreciate that approach. But it was someone that is as ambitious as you. That's challenging, right? It's you testing and be able to, that you can do good things for certain potential clients, and to have to be at, what do we call it, shelter in place, close, whatever you want to call it. That was a difficult time.
It was definitely difficult, and same time reflecting back, I think there were opportunities that I didn't get to take the full advantage of because I was, taking that, allowing that time and space for my districts. But the same time, I think there were a lot more important things in life and in one's career. We all work for a reason, but I don't want that to be the only reason that I work. So I'm still trying to find that, to strike that fine balance. I think I will continue to, but I think at least over the past 6 months, I've convinced myself that it's for the long term.
Right. Well, part of the Bond Buyer Rising Star Award, you did a panel and a presentation, and I think a part of that was discussing diversity in the field. Would you share a little bit with us about that?
Of course. So I'm very honored to be a part of a virtual panel. I joined two other fellow rising stars to talk about diversity and inclusion in public finance. I think a couple of things that I shared during that virtual panel, which was well attended, pleasant pleasant surprise for me. Couple of things. When it comes to diversity, I think in our industry, I've observed positive changes. People are becoming more aware of this subject, and that diversity and inclusion are beneficial in the long term for a firm and organization to stay competitive and creative in today's environment. And I think you will agree, working as a financial advisor to issuer, we attend a fair amount of board meetings. Um, I in recent years, I've seen boards and governing bodies better represent the makeup of the community that they serve. I've been to more meetings where student board members discuss how they're promoting inclusion and diversity at their schools. I I think just to add to that, our clients are also becoming more diverse these days, with many issuers openly discussing the need or implementing new policies to bolster diversity and improve data analysis. I think we're moving towards the right direction. The other piece that was a very interesting question to me during that panel was about generational diversity in our industry. I think that's a challenge that we've all at one point experienced as young professional, new professionals in public finance. And I think for that, while I certainly there are things that senior people or mid-level people like myself can help and promote. My recommendation for the junior folks is to take advantage of this generational gap. Take that time to strengthen your knowledge, and take that time to build relationship, because this generational gap also exists at the client level. The junior people at the issuer side will one day become higher rank issuers that make the decisions. So foster that relationship, and also allow yourself the time to develop into the roles you aspire to become.
So is the generational gap that there's a aging group of professionals and there's a younger group of officials, but there's a gap in the middle there. Is that what we mean by generational gap?
Correct. And also, at least how I interpreted the question was one that we see that, and also the people that have the for lack of better terms, accounts, who has developed those relationships that are the more senior people, in that how can we translate that knowledge, those relationships, into the next generation, and certainly as an industry, how we retain talent while we retain diversity. Those are some of the discussion points when we talked about generational gap.
Very interesting. Well, you've talked about balancing things, and you have two adorable kids. I feel that since one positive thing about the kind of shutdown is Zoom and things like that. I feel like I've really gotten to know your kids by kind of seeing them come and go as we do conversations, and that's been a real pleasure. But would you mind sharing a little bit about your family with us?
Of course. So I often forget. So let me start by introducing Aaron, my very supportive husband. He is my best friend. We've been together building this family for a long time, though our kids are young. And our world just revolves around our 5-year-old son, Aaron Jr. We call him AJ, and our 3-year-old daughter, Lauren. They have so much energy, and they definitely keep me on my toes. And I'll take this opportunity to also say thank you to all those Zoom meeting participants who also got to see my kids appear unannounced. Thank you, because I think a part that amazed me about this pandemic, which also goes back to inclusion, is people really are on the same page in terms of understanding each other. And that professionally, I get personally very embarrassed when my kids watch them because they can't find a Lego piece. Um, but I get more positive feedback from that, from my clients, asking about my family, how the kids are, and laughing with me. So I really appreciate that part. But speaking of my family, going back to your question, Adam, outside of work, I'm a very simple person. Given how much we work, I just love to spend time with them. I play with them a lot. Without the beaches or family trips these days, I you will find me battling Beyblades with my my 5-year-old. I'm not very good, according to him. Or building Legos. My 3-year-old Lauren is a very girly girl. She loves to do my hair, cook for me, pretend cook. We're just all adapting to the new normal.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, my son in the video game Madden, in order for me to play, he has to be the worst team, and I have to be the best team. And if he only beats me by 20 points, he says, "Dad, you kind of won that game." So I think they have the edge on the games that they like. Well,
They do.
I am very proud to call you a colleague. As I
Oh,
told you when one of the first times we had a conversation, I felt like that Bonfire Rising Star Award was something you deserved, and the fact that you're able to achieve it so quickly, just want to say congratulations to you. You've worked hard to get to that point.
thank you. And Adam, trust me, I'm not someone who likes changes. I appreciate stability. So when I finally decided that I would make a career change after 12 years, because I would like to focus on one trade, financial advisory, I took the search for my next work family very seriously. I spoke with industry leaders, many FA firms, and our company, the philosophy and reputation truly stand out from all the competitors. And my experience in lend secured financing also complements the firm's work with CFDs. So I am really happy to be at where I am. It's really the best place, I think, for me to continue to expand my practice serving K-14 and beyond.
Okay, well, we're certainly happy with that decision that you've made, and you're very gracious. When I'm trying to give you compliments, you've already turned it on me. So thank you, thank you. A few other things I'll say is your detail-oriented approach, I think, is well received by both your peers and your and clients that you work with. That's been really nice, and you also have pushed me on technology a bit. Many people have seen me on the internet doing videos like this or market updates or things, and it's been on the back burner for so long. And a few conversations with you and the pandemic made me kind of finally launch that. And then don't forget OneNote. Getting me
uh,
into OneNote has been a really good thing. So you really helped improve some little things that probably go unnoticed by many, but you also, in the big picture, have done great. And when you say you've met 50% of your goals, you met 100% of the ones that you and I have identified, and you did it in a very tough year. So we're very happy to have you on the Public Finance Conversation, part of the firm, and look forward to many years to come.
Thank you for the kind words, Adam. I'm grateful for this conversation as well as the resources and the team I have.